Back, Merck getting FDA approval for an injectable version of its blockbuster cancer therapy, Keytruda. Angelica Peoples here with the story fresh off an interview with the CEO. Angelica.
Hey, Leslie. Well, Merck thinks that this shot will be an attractive option for patients since it can be administered in about a minute in a doctor's office versus 30 minutes at a hospital or an infusion center. And the shot's also a way for Merck to manage the IV form of Keytruda going off patent in 2028. And Merck hasn't specified the price for the shot beyond saying that it'll be similar to the IV. CEO Rob Davis telling me this isn't a price play. This is really about continuing to drive adoption of Keytruda and that Merck will probably lower the price as the competition comes in. Again, in 2028, that's when we're expecting that. Now, Davis doesn't expect that we'll see another Keytruda, which did nearly $30 billion in sales last year. That's about half of Merck's overall revenue. Instead, Merck's goal is to build a diverse portfolio in oncology, cardiometabolic, ophthalmology, HIV, and other therapeutic areas. And one area where Merck is a major player is vaccines. So last week, remember, the CDC's advisors, they reviewed recommendations for two vaccines that Merck makes, MMRV and hepatitis B.
If you look at what the ACIP, the recommendations they put through, I didn't see that they presented any new science in support of the changed recommendation. And it did run contrary to years of scientific study supporting what was the existing schedule. So my concern is we need to make sure we continue to drive choice and we continue to preserve and protect this important benefit. And as we start to bring hesitancy to vaccines, my concern is people are going to not get vaccinated and we're going to face diseases we thought were gone. And that will be a tragedy.
Davis says that he stands firmly behind the safety and effectiveness of its vaccines and that he's concerned that people will avoid them because of misinformation. So a big one to watch, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Keytruda, wow, $30 billion, and obviously such an important drug in the fight against cancer. I mean, almost monumental in that sense, how many lives it saved. Does this really allow, I guess the injectable, is it going to allow more people to use it ultimately, or is it just an easier form?
It's really just an easier form, and Merck is expecting that about 30 to 40% of people taking Keytruda will eventually move over to that injectable version. And I asked Rob how important it is that they hit those projections. And, again, he says that it is important, but this is just one area for Merck that they're focused on. Yes, this is the biggest patent cliff really we've ever seen, and they're going to have to manage it. But he's talking about this as being, more of a hill in terms of instead of a cliff. And so that is one area. But he's really focused on, can we have a bunch more blockbusters? And so I think it'll be really interesting to watch how they manage it and how this does launch, especially when you do have those less expensive options that are going to start hitting the market. So how much do people really care about the convenience versus the price? And really, when I say people, the insurance companies that will probably be making those decisions.
Meantime, Angelica, while we're talking, the CDC's on the tape saying that there, as of September 23rd, have been about 1,500 confirmed cases of measles in the United States. And I'm wondering, are there which ailment do you think presents itself with the most surprise if, in fact, there is widespread vaccine hesitancy?
Right. I mean, certainly everyone is focused on, will we see this resurgence of some of these diseases that we haven't seen in a long time? And measles is one that we've been focused on. We had that outbreak in Texas earlier this year. So certainly, we'll have to watch all of that and how it's coming, and what we see, if anything, comes back. And it's going to be an area that we're going to be focused on for some time. Just the other day, President Trump talking about wanting to make changes to the vaccine schedule, wanting to split up the MMRV and MMR even, and giving those in different individual shots, maybe spreading out that vaccine schedule. So I don't think this is the end. And again, we asked Rob this morning, are you worried about this? And of course, they're going to say that they back the science. But will we start to see more companies being vocal, pushing back? Obviously, we've heard scientists pushing back. And, as we talk about vaccines, but I definitely think that we're going to be focused on vaccines definitely for the rest of this year and in the years to come.
Angelica, thanks. Angelica Peoples this morning on Merck.